Well, bright lights, red carpets, and high fashion are the usual trappings of the major film festivals of the world. But just imagine a film fest where you're more likely to see a pocket protector than a sequined evening gown. All right, I might be having a little fun with the science meets film nature of our next guest work, but the Imagine Science Film Festival is serious and seriously fun. Let's take a look at their trailer.
Now in its 9th year, the Imagine Science Film Festival has been fostering collaboration between scientists and filmmakers for nearly a decade. It makes science accessible to the layperson and has been reaching audiences from Brooklyn to Abu Dhabi and Paris. So we are lucky to have the jet-set pair behind the festival once again at our table here at BK Live. Alexis Gambis is the executive director of at Imagine Science Films, and Nate Dorr is Imagine Science Films Director of Programming. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Has it been an entire year since you guys were here?
It's been a full year.
Been a year.
Yeah.
Wow, so you've done nothing in the time.
Absolutely
since you
nothing,
left here.
yeah.
Not a thing. You basically were just here in the green room, and then they
waiting,
just came
yeah.
right
Waiting for the
back.
call.
Let's get good coffee. What else do we need?
So, Alexi, remind us, what is the Imagine Science Film Festival? How did it come about?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about it because every year it comes back and we're trying to think about, what does it mean to show science films? What it is basically is an opportunity to bring scientists and filmmakers together and also change the way we think about science and media in general. It's not always about educational, but it's also just about showing what the lives of scientists are. And so we're very interested in having a very varied kind of collection of films that are fiction, lab footage that's coming from labs, getting scientists to interact with filmmakers and make films together. And I'm a hybrid of those two, so the festival for me is like a perfect home to be able to just like have fun and spend the week with all these interesting collaborations that come out of it. So.
Awesome. Nate, and now the festival's gone international. So what's that been like for you to program in these different places?
Well, as far as our programming, it's always kind of international. We like to draw on what's going on all over the world, not just right here. So it's sort of a natural extension. We've had satellite programs for years where we'll travel to another city and do a smaller program, but in the last couple of years it's really blown up with these satellite festivals where we try and work with local filmmakers in whatever part of the world we're in and kind of concentrate on that. Yeah, it's really interesting seeing how a science film varies depending on where you go.
Yeah, so Alexi, what's the hot science in Abu Dhabi or Paris versus Brooklyn? Is the world flat in terms of science, like everyone's on one thing, or how does that work?
I mean, that's the really interesting part of it, is that there is sort of this universal language of science, which it travels well.
Yeah.
When you have films about genetic engineering, when you have films about climate change, there's something universal about these topics that we discuss. And that's what makes it really exciting. If you're in Abu Dhabi or if you're in Paris, there's all of these issues that are kind of common. It's almost like a common language. But at the same time, as Nate was mentioning, we get all of these interesting films that are made in the Middle East and different ways of thinking about climate change, filmically, stylistically, different types of films. We have a film that's made, it's called We Ate the Finest Porcelain. It's kind of this sci-fi film made by a Palestinian artist. And these are films that, are specifically happening in our Abu Dhabi festival. And then in Paris, we have other films that happen there. And what's great about the festival is that it travels around the city, so that's also part of it, is that we get to go through Paris, we get to go through Abu Dhabi and work in these different environments. So that's also one of the big draws of it. So.
And Nate, this year, one of the universal theme is light. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, light is the very foundation of film. It's, you know, light coming out of a projector. And it's also tied to so many subjects in science, you know, whether that's solar energy or the light or, you know, vision, observation, microscopes, all of that. So that's why we threw some of those into the trailer there that we just saw. A lot of variations.
So
We
good.
love to have these like themes that kind of, you know, we're not super tied to the theme, but these kind of poetic themes. So last year was, if you remember, it was air, right? And then the year before that it was time. And so that helps us kind of just be very free about how we approach these themes. But we have amazing films about how vision works, about prosthetic eyes, about, we have this Hubble cantata. It's like a preview of, that was actually part of Celebrate Brooklyn. And basically we're going to have a preview of it on opening night for this panel discussion called Eyes Evolved. And we have all kinds of crazy projects and retrospectives. I mean, we could talk hours and hours about it, but
So
it's
how
fun.
do you define a science film, though? Is there something in the zeitgeist that we would know, like, oh, like, you didn't know that was a science film? Is there like one or a few examples out there of something you guys would consider a science film?
Yeah, I think everybody has like a different definition of it. I like to think of it as that the more we kind of break away at what a science film is, the more we actually remove the word science from science film. That when you tell people you make science films, they immediately think of a specific type of film, right? And we want to just kind of show that science film can be so many things. And therefore, it's more than anything, it's a film that has a narrative that is not only about it being educational, but also has like a story involved. And so we're very story-based. But for us, a science film is also about the program, right? Like about a specific topic in a program and how we use fiction, mixing it with lab footage and documentary, and how that program itself speaks about the theme of vision, for example. How do you talk about vision and these things? So.
Yeah, we like to inspire by and sort of provoke new thoughts by combining a lot of different kinds of films that all address a similar topic. So you'll see many different ways of looking at a subject.
Yeah, so then you understand vision through an experimental film, and then you'll see like a clip from the lab where somebody's dissecting a fruit fly eye, for example, and then you'll see maybe like a fictional film, and then the one about prosthetic eyes, and so then you just get all of these different angles thrown at you, and so that's that's the name, Imagine Science, and so it's pretty exciting. So.
That sounds so awesome.
You should definitely
I'm so
come.
curious about the prosthetic eye. Nate, what are some of the other kind of special either venues or events or things going on this year?
Well, we have, as Alexis said, we travel all over, so something totally different every night. But some of our big features this year, on our opening night, we're showing this film called Evolution, that is about evolution, but in a very surreal way. It's by Lucille Hazahlilovic, a French filmmaker, and it's sort of a coming-of-age story. And I don't know, surreal medical drama, and I don't know. You really have to see it. It's like nothing else, but it's kind of that's what we want people to think of with science films. That it's not what they expect. And then the next night we're showing a documentary, but it's a very dreamlike documentary about the internet, kind of told from within it, about how we relate to data and how everything's been digitized.
Yeah, you have to go to that because it's the interviews. Everybody's kind of in these networks, and as people are talking, their image dissolves as if they're part of this, this kind of hub of data, and it's.
Well, Alexi, as if you guys had nothing else to do, and you're talking about this digital thing. You've started a magazine that's a video magazine online thing. What is that all about?
Yeah, I mean that's actually the big thing of what's happening with Imagine Science is that we've been running for 10 years, and we were thinking we have over 1,000 films, and what do we do with these films? So we decided to start a video magazine and a VOD platform here in Brooklyn. We're based out of the new lab, which is at the Brooklyn Navy Yards, which is an amazing space. And so the company is called Labocine, like laboratory cinema. And the idea is that every month we have a topic, and we have about 15 to 20 films that kind of tackle that topic. And the way you watch the movies is in a network. So you see how the movies are interrelated to each other by keywords. It's so beautiful. And we have it we treat it as a magazine, so every month we have like a cover issue. And this year it's all about invisible light. How do we picture something that's invisible in the world around us? And it just came out today, the next issue, the October issue. Came out today, and it's going to be a VOD platform. It's also going to be for universities, and we want to, we want to become like the VOD platform for science and technology.
That sounds like a great gift for everyone you know who's not dumb. Like that would be great
Exactly.
for like holiday
Wow.
gifts. A subscription, like you get a subscription to a dumb magazine, and it's like clogging up your coffee table. But if I got
Right.
this as a subscription, it's like every month I get to look at 10 to 15 new videos on something that
Yeah.
doesn't make you stupid. That's
Yeah,
fun.
and it's
That's a
all
good
about the
thing.
curation again. It's like, we want to talk about climate change. We want to talk about all of these, topics that are, politicized and everything. But having them in this like program in a video magazine, and also nowadays, I can talk hours about this, but nowadays in universities, teachers are using video more and more to teach science.
Yeah.
And you see it also in, video, also science journals are using video as a way of sharing data amongst each other. So video is becoming a huge way science is being taught, and it can be dangerous as well as very effective in how it portrays science. So we're trying to get into that world.
Yeah.
So.
Does that sound like a big natural next step for you, Nate, to go from programming to just creating straight up curriculum for people?
I mean, there's really not much difference depending. I guess I would treat a curriculum much as a science program anyway. And so yeah, we've already done 3 issues of La Bocine, and it's going forward quickly. So
Yeah.
that's in action right
Nate's
now.
a curator also of La Bocine, and so he's the mastermind.
Well, we
between-
co-curate,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well.
You should think about having guest co-curators.
That's actually what we're thinking of. is
Fine,
we're-
I'll do it.
Yeah, you should. We want to have special channels for different types of filmmakers and scientists
Yeah.
and journalists, and we have something called spotlights, which is like mini issues. So let's say this week, you have like a roster of films that you want to present. So that's what we're doing as well, in addition to the more curated like monthly issues, and it's growing. We're hoping to build the platform and make our own series. So this is, it's pretty exciting.
So in our last minute before you get out of here, you have to tell us who it is that you want to reach and how we can reach out to you to get some tickets to this thing or get on the VOD.
They're going by fast. No.
well, I mean, we want to reach everyone. That's the thing. It's not just for pocket protectors or for science fiction people or
Sequinned
anyone in
gowns.
particular.
Sequinned
Everyone can,
gowns.
I think, take something interesting away from our programs. That's sort of the point of keeping them really diverse and unexpected.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to come, and they can get tickets, RSVP for some of the free events, and get tickets for the ticketed ones through our website, which is...
It's very, affordable. Like most of our tickets, either it's free event or very, very low cost. It happens all around the city. So if you go on the website, you'll see. I think there's like 12 different venues. A lot of them here in Brooklyn, and and they're going by fast. The festival starts in 10 days on the next Friday. So
It's ticking, so
Yeah.
give us that
Down.
website.
Oh, imaginesciencefilms.org.
ImagineScienceFilms.org.
yeah, we hope to see you there. Yeah.
We will.
Good.